think another fear that a lot of women have is they have that fear of setting standards or setting boundaries because they're afraid that's going to turn a man off or repel a man, or they'll seem like they're too much, or they need too much, or they want too much. But my experience has been the opposite is actually true. What are your thoughts on that?
So my thought and my philosophy are based on one little thing where I said, you need to challenge a man. I truly believe as a French man, we love the art of attraction, seduction. I always had trouble when I first came in the US. I was using the word seduction a lot because for me, it's a good word. But here in the US, I think that there is a negative connotation behind this word. So it's just an art of attraction for us. And if you don't raise your standard, I say men are like kids. They will try to take advantage of you. They will try to play with the rules and they will try to just do what they want. That's not the best way to maintain a real relationship. So I completely agree with you. I just do feel that when you raise your standard, men knows that you're different. They know also that they have to fight for you. So the perfect example for me is when you say yes all the time, when a man is asking you for a date or for an activity, there is one moment he would just tell himself that he can propose or he can ask you to do whatever you will accept. No, you have to say no sometimes. You have to challenge him because if he thinks about what kind of activity or just what kind of food restaurant you want to go, then he will be focused on you. He will give you more attention. So I truly believe that by raising your standard, you will be a challenge and that will make a man want to meet you, wants to get you for who you are, not just the image that you represent.
Yes, I agree. And this makes me think about something else. I often say that there's a phenomenon out there of men that are what I might call lazy daters, meaning they're not putting a lot of effort, energy, intention to spending time with the woman, pursuing the woman, initiating. And I'm certainly not letting men off the hook when I say this. I know you work with both men and women, but I do believe that there's a lot of women out there that are perhaps not meaning to, but contributing to that phenomenon because they're willing to do so much of the, what I call heavy lifting. They're willing to put in so much of the effort, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. But, you know, I think that's my personal thing, right? I just think that after a certain age, right, after 30 years old, the dating process is not the same. Before, men has to do a lot. But after 30, maybe it's because women want to have kids, they want to settle, they want to get married. Men tend to be lazy in their dating. They will try to not put a lot of effort because they want something fast, easy, and it's not the best way to meet someone. By raising your standard, I know you will be scared, right? You will be scared to never meet a man, just ask for too much, but it's actually the opposite. You will set apart and you will be able to truly be yourself. So I think that when it comes to lazy dating, you should ask for more, for sure. That's my vision.
Yeah, absolutely. So Alex, I want to make this really tangible for people. What are a couple of examples of how a woman can ask for more or can raise her standards? I just want to give a couple of tangible examples if you can.
Yeah, of course. The number one example is the one I just said before, because for me, it's just the number one. You have to say no. For example, when a man is asking you to go on a date, he will ask you, would you like to go to this Italian restaurant? You should say no. You should answer no. And I will tell you why. I am a man, right? And before to get married, I was dating. I always went to the same restaurant. So when I enter in the restaurant, I can say hi to the waiter, and then he will show me some social value. I know it's my place. I'm confident. So if you say no to a man, if you challenge the place, you can take him to a new place, or you can ask him to find a different place. That's, first of all, something that will challenge him, right? Because he doesn't know the place and because you show your personality. So this is my tip number one. Tip number two, I will also make sure that when you ladies organize a date, you tried something that you have never tried before. So for example, maybe you will ask him to come to a yoga class or to a gym class, and you will try to live a moment that will be very different from the casual dating. And the reason why I ask that, it's a big surprise for a man, but it can create a real bond. So immediately the chemistry can be there. So I truly believe by challenging, by saying no, and doing new activities, these are the two first forms of challenge. Now, when it comes to raising the standard, I believe in open communication. You know, for example, I just coached a lady this morning. She told me, Alex, every time we meet, it's great. But after that, he will not text, he will not call for a couple of days. What should I do? Tell him, I would like a man that will be engaged, or I just think that you don't like virtual communication. Why? You ask question, you open question, but it's a bit of challenge because you should not be scared. And this guy will understand that you are able to communicate before to come angry and to attack him, basically. I will be glad to know how they can raise the standard with your philosophy, Michelle. What are the tools that you can share for them?
Well, thank you for asking me. That's very nice of you to allow me to
I love your philosophy
contribute.
too. So of course, I want to know.
Yeah. Well, so for me, I would say everything in the coaching that I do is really centered around women being really centered in their own value. And when I say that, it means that their value is intrinsic. They know their value no matter what is or isn't happening with any one man. And those boundaries and those standards do not collapse in the face of pressure. If they're feeling pressure, if they're feeling like they need to do something, they're clear about who they are and what's right for them without feeling like they have to cave in to whatever pressure they're feeling around dating or a man. So this is a big foundational piece. So part of it goes along with what you said, is that I think it's really important for women to have the confidence and the clarity to speak up about what's right for her. So I encourage women to be in tune with their inner guidance system, their inner wisdom, their women's intuition, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. And usually as women, we can kind of feel that in the body. We can feel that. I know this because I am a woman who spent a lot of time out there in the dating world. We can kind of feel if something feels a little uncomfortable to us. So this can even be from something a man says, where you can just say, hey, you know what? That just really caught my attention. I'm curious to know a little more about that. So I encourage women to always stay curious. And then and not be afraid to ask the questions if something's coming up. And then, like you said, to speak what is on her mind. And you can do this, I believe, in most cases in a very lovely, feminine way. Most of the time, you don't have to blast a man. Like I think you can say, if he's proposing the same old Italian restaurant, to use your example, you can say, you know what really sounds good to me? You know what I've just been craving is some fantastic Chinese food. And I bet you could find the best Chinese food in this town. How about wonderful. That? What do you think about that?
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Then that's giving him the challenge, but it's also, she's speaking up for what sounds good to her, for what sounds fun. So I think magic phrases are things like, you know what would be so nice for me, or you know what would make me so happy, or you know what sounds so great to me. And then, be willing to kind of like toss that ball to him and see if he's willing to take the shot, right?
Yeah, that is very powerful. And I can tell you as a man, if you say this, ladies, we will spend 30 minutes to try to know what will be the color shirt we will wear, because we understand that this is very important without putting too much negative pressure. It's a positive pressure. We want to do good. We want to do a good first impression. So ladies, you can do this, and this is very natural. That's what I love with what you said, Michelle. It just comes naturally. So we don't play games. It's just natural.
Yeah. And I think, when it comes to, and I know this is a question you're asked all the time too, Alex, when it comes to like the physical intimacy or when the sex happens or that sort of thing, again, to be really in tune with what's right for you, to be clear about what your boundaries and standards are. And still, if you like a man and you're attracted to a man, you want to let him know that, even if you're not ready. So again, you can say, you know what, I can feel the chemistry too. And I'm really looking forward to when that time is right. What I also know about me is that I need more time to get to know someone a little better so I can feel really comfortable and enjoy it when it happens. But I'm really looking forward to it. So then, he knows it's not because you're not attracted or that that's never going to be a possibility, but you're still staying true to what feels right for you. You're not collapsing because you feel like that's what he wants, or you're not doing it because you feel like you have to in order to catch him or keep him.
That's very good advice. That's the tricky part for me, because there is this situation where you want to ask women to wait in order to not be too needy, or that the man will not take you for granted. In the meantime, it's very important also to build a chemistry. So the advice that you share is amazing, to be honest. So I'm glad we have the same philosophy and some ideas that complete each other.
Yes, I am too. Yeah, because I just believe that this is really this kind of communication we're talking about, sharing authentically about what's really going on instead of just trying to outguess each other or outmaneuver each other, is what really sets up a foundation for a healthy relationship. And that's what people are looking for. I believe in our communities, that's what most people are looking for.
And when I look at my communities, the women I coached, they are scared to open up. They're scared to voice their want or their needs, because they tell themselves, yeah, but I really like him. So if I tell him that I want this, maybe I will scare him away. And it's just coming from fears. It's just coming from a lack of self-confidence. You should know your values, but also your, let's say, attraction value. You should know that you have a lot to offer. So don't be scared, ladies. It's possible to have. And if he just left because you're raising your voice, it is not the right one. You cannot build a relationship with a man like this. But
right.
There is more beautiful men also that can listen to you, that can change, grow, and make you feel happy. So I truly believe in this.